Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. With the arrival of Remembrance MC, RMC, some of us, the realization hit us like a stone. What's going to happen with Harmony Trailblazer when she takes off her cap and now becomes Remembrance MC? What happens to your current meta teams like the break team that you see over here that a lot of people are running? Of course, this is just one illustration. There are many permutations of these teams. You can have Rapper instead of Firefly, you can have Linkshot instead of Gallagher, you can have no Runmei also. This is just a typical example, but one of the more illustrative team compositions. I want to explain to you guys what are the options available for you as we tend towards there, so you can have some time to plan, to change your team composition. The first biggest question is, do I think that Remembrance MC is likely going to be much better than Harmony MC and no one will eventually play Harmony MC? My honest opinion is the answer is a resounding yes. The game only moves forward. Nowadays, Preservation MC used to be like decently meta, right? People used to play her because we lack of like preservation characters that can draw aggro and stuff. Harmony MC came about, no one plays the old meta. And similarly, I think Remembrance MC is going to be the new meta and people will likely move away from Harmony MC into the new meta, which leaves a gaping hole. Because if you look at statistics and you ask any player right now who plays Super Break, not a single team plays without Harmony MC, which is a huge problem. Because when this gaping hole is left, what do? I don't know, they probably will sell a solution, but there are actually solutions existing in the game for people who look harder, and that's what I want to explain to you because I look hard. My Harmony MC here is only M2, or E2 rather, so I've already found a lot of solutions to play without Harmony MC, and I want to share with you honestly as well. First things first, before talking about spending money, I want to give you a cheap alternative where you have already existing cars. How do you solve it? And in future, we will look forward as well. Towards the later part of this video, I'll talk about what else am I looking forward to as we make the switch. The biggest question is, what can you replace Harmony MC with? And I'll give you two options. The easiest option, of course, is to replace like for like, a support for a support. So I won't talk too much about Runmei if you don't have Runmei and stuff. You guys probably already have developed teams. For those of you without Runmei, this is just purely illustration purposes. And if you're still struggling on that, do check out our recent Rapper Teams video. It'll give you more in-depth guide towards that. This one is really specifically talking about Harmony MC being missing from this, which no one else has really built team compositions for at this point. The biggest character that I think is best that people are using right now is, especially for new players. If you are a new player in the game, Aster is actually a solid replacement. She buffs a lot of fire damage bonus, she gives a lot of speed to the entire team, which Firefly likes as well. And at the same time, it's really strong as a support to push up the entire team. So newer players and people who play Firefly mainly, this is a great character to consider. She will be a great replacement for a Harmony MC. Obviously not the best, not as going to be as outperforming as Harmony MC, but at least your break teams are still going to be quite functioning. Some other niche team compositions that I also see is going down a little bit more aggressive support route. Some people even play Jiao Qiu here if you for some reason don't play him together with Akirion. These are some examples of team compositions that I see people changing their team. But more so than that, this also kind of hints the second type of team replacement that you can do for Harmony MC. And that is something that I use a lot very often. And that is a double DPS role. My preference, personally, I like to use Rapper together with Firefly together, but I understand not everyone has the luxury of having so many characters, limited characters in a team compositions, so I'm here for you guys as well. But let me explain why this comp works very well. We tested it out live on stream as well. We did a comparison of like Firefly, Rapper, I'll have the video out as well. And then finally, of course, we have them both together. And surprise, surprise, the damage that outperformed was when Firefly and Rapper were put together, especially since a lot of enemies can be targeted by both of them, more damage dish out, especially because my team would look something like this, with the last slot being like a Linkshot over here. So there was a lot of damage coming up, and I found this team very attractive, and it kept up and even outperformed Harmony MC teams, at least for my personal account. Because my Harmony MCs are not super well built. So this team is great and stuff, but some of you will be saying, EOD, I just don't have the money to buy so many limited characters as well. So what are my options? Looking at Linkshot aside, let's ignore the last two slots and focus on this Rapper slot, which is the Trailblazer gaping hole here. Some of the options that people are actually playing that we see currently today are a double DPS team with a super break Himiko, and this is very interesting because Himiko is a character that you probably would have built for pure fiction, and yet if you build her a little bit and fit her into this super break team, she can then be played outside of pure fiction and can play in more comms, as long as the enemy is like somewhat weak to fire, which Firefly inputs the weakness already. So this team is excellent. And of course, Firefly, Rapper, these are, I can't have both on the same screen, but basically it means more or less the same thing. You can swap them around depending on whether you join later, you haven't joined since Firefly and stuff like that. So that's a very, very strong team composition that you can go for that runs and focuses on a double DPS standard. Other alternatives, if you don't like these two, you can of course run other brick scaling characters. For example, Boot Hill is a decent alternative. Probably not going to be better than the AoE attackers that you have, but Boot Hill is okay. Unfortunately, a limited character. Some free characters that scale with break as well will be characters, for example, like Xue Yi. Decent alternative, but of course not going to be the best, but we are looking for alternatives that we have in the game as cheap as we can so that we don't break the bank. These are some of the things that you can use to fill the gaping hole that Trailblazer leaves us with after the Trailblazer transits. So, at this point, of course, we have talked about current, the things that we can do currently, and now that we know that we can actually have quite a lot of options available, people have different flexibility of comms that they already do. This gives us comfort and planning for the future, right? So then the next question comes is, how do we improve the teams without Harmony MC? The way I see it is, Hoyoverse knows that there will be this gaping hole left behind by Harmony MC, and likely a new character in the future is going to come out that fills in this hole. It's probably going to be a 5-star limited. People will be forced to pull this character, and who knows, maybe it's coming out in 2.7. We will know officially tomorrow. And if you're watching this after the live stream, you can probably see maybe some of these characters are kind of like a replacement for Harmony MC when Harmony MC does transit. That is probably a way that they want to do to sell you a solution, but don't be forced to make a decision. As you know in this video that we have already prepared you mentally, there are a lot of options available for you. You can go into these other alternatives. By the end of the day, if you really like Break and you really want to invest in it, this is a very, very strong composition, very, very strong team as well. Will it be meta throughout 3.x? The answer has yet to be seen, but if they're continuously pumping new characters to support this faction, it makes sense that they're going to support it a little bit further, especially if any of the 2.7 characters do contribute a little bit to Break. That'll be very, very fun. Maybe one of them will replace Harmony MC, and that is the angle that I will look towards. At the end of the day, my honest advice is I will be looking forward towards Remembrance teams, because preparing for Remembrance teams means that you're preparing for new meta. And new metas, as we talked about in our previous video, does take 6 months to 8 months to actually fully form from the first innings of those characters. If Remembrance MC and Aglia are the first innings of Remembrance comms, then we might be 4 months away from when the thing fully blooms, and you want to be prepared for that. Remembrance MC is free, so let's take more attention to that, and I'll have more content for you on the channel. At this point, if you found this video helpful in preparing you ahead of time, like, comment, and subscribe. And do consider checking out these 2 videos, which I think you might like to prepare you ahead. See you guys in the next video.